Hi there. A new day, a new adventure. So, this is just an overview of part two for our distance learning for week two. So, if we go over here to classwork, click on that. Today, what is due is assignment one, Wednesday. Please make sure that you turn it in. If you don't, I'll start sending emails out home and phone calls. So, make sure you turn that in. Assignment 2 is what we're working on today, and this will be due on Friday. And all of the resources are right here for that. Our slideshow is right here for Wednesday, and the video will also be posted here as well. Let's go ahead and look at the assignment. When you look at the readings, they're just opinion pieces. So, student opinion, I will just have you title it tech-related jobs for the future. That's the first one. And the second one is going to be Limit Your Use of Technology by Vicente. They're both students. They're nothing really complicated. It's just an opinion piece. So if you want to, you can look at that. For the rubric, this is how I'm going to grade you on. Just make sure that you're looking at this checklist. Like I mentioned before, last term, we were using many more things that I was going to grade you on. I want you to think of this kind of like a timed write, because we're getting ready for essential skills tests, which are going to happen next year. And with that, you should spend about roughly an hour on those responses. So when you type this out, start thinking of trying to do this in about an hour. You can spend more time if you want to, but I'm just letting you know that's what I'm thinking of. This is your first quiz for this distance learning. When I do this, I'll give you feedback, and you can resubmit if you want, just to improve the grade. But if you go to the assignment list, it's right here. The only question really is technology generally more helpful or harmful to our productiveness. That's it. And those are the two articles that you can use. And if you want to, you can outline. I would always encourage you to outline your essays, but it doesn't have to be like our larger formal essays. I think with this, if you're able to build a thesis, bring down 2 or 3 points, and have your quotations ready, that's all you really need. And then you're able to start typing it out. And then if you just go in the classroom, just type your essay right here, and then you can submit it that way. And that's about it for day 2. Let's go ahead and get over to the PowerPoint that I showed today. So, to begin with, please try your best to join the classroom. These meets are here to help you one-on-one, and it's going to be much more beneficial for you to be there presently in the moment than just watching this video. This is just supplementary if something, happens that you can't join the meet for that day. But again, like I said before, this quiz will be due this Friday. And it's just the essay response about technology. Please try to aim for 4 paragraphs. I know ideally we have always been doing 5-paragraph essays. Since this is more of a shorter response, try to always aim for 5, but you don't always have to. I think at the very least aim for 4. So that would be an introduction, a body paragraph number 1 giving about 2 pieces of evidence, a counterclaim with 2 pieces of evidence, and then a conclusion. And that's all I'm thinking of for today. But if you can, try to go with 5 paragraphs. Whenever you write your paper, think of it like a hamburger, and that's why it's displayed right there. For an introduction, we've done this before. You can look at the rubric, but really, the 3 things when you're building your quick outline: do you have a hook or an attention-getting sentence? Do you have background information about what is the question addressing? And then a thesis statement. If you look at part 1 of this week, I mentioned how you could do a road mapping thesis statement. I would encourage you to do that, because if you have a thesis statement that has 2 or 3 points that you're going to address, that also helps you writing your outline for your paper. Again, we don't have the same luxury to spend a week or more writing a paper. This is more of like a couple-day response, so please, I would encourage you to always do a roadblock thesis statement in that. regard. Body paragraph 1, all you have to do is just start off with your claim. Evidence right there. How does the quote that you use support your claim? And then transition to your next paragraph. If you want help, I labeled and I uploaded MLA and writing help. There's the template to help you with writing your body paragraphs. You can also think of the Texas acronym that we've learned earlier. Body paragraph 2 is just an extension. And then finally your counterclaim, which is you're going to address why some people might disagree with your thesis statement, but the evidence that you're going to use, and you should try to aim for 2 pieces of evidence for every paragraph. Make sure that that evidence is proving that counterclaim wrong. And then with the analysis, you're saying, how does this prove that the counterclaim that people are addressing isn't right, and in fact, your thesis statement is the correct one. And then finally, for your conclusion, since you're going to do this probably last, because we're doing this in kind of a more fast-paced fashion, instead of just restating your thesis and your introduction, which you always should do, try to say, like, how does it affect a person, how does it affect a country, and how does it affect the world? If you always think of those 3 questions, it'll help build your conclusion so that you can wrap it up and be done with the formula. When you cite the texts, please make sure that you mention the article that it comes from and the author's last name. In any other instance, you would, if you had a quote within an article that's not from the author, you would cite that original source. However, I just want you to look at these 2 pieces of evidence as your basis, and I don't want you to really do any outside research. So mention the article title and the last name of the author. So it's either going to be Martin or Vicente. So there are 2 examples right there that you can look, and again, this PowerPoint is in the classroom as a reference. But if you don't follow this format or this formula, you might lose a couple points on your essay because of that. However, I'll give feedback and you can resubmit. And that's about it for this video. I'm trying to keep it short and simple. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and I'll see you on Monday.